All right, let's look at the question. That's 26 January 2026. Question 1. We have been told AB is a diameter. AB is a diameter of the shaded circle. So let me show the diameter of the circle in green. Right, so this green line segment is a diameter, and AB is a triangle, and so on. All right. So we have been asked to find the area of square AGFE. That is this square which I'm marking with a tick. We're supposed to find the area of this square that has been labeled with a tick. All right, let's see how to do this. So this green line segment is a diameter. So, and it has subtended an angle at the circumference, so at the circle. So here, angle AEB, this orange angle that has been subtended by the diameter AB. So when a diameter subtends an angle at the circumference, that angle is certainly 90 degrees. So this is a 90-degree angle. We have been also given the area of the square that is at the bottom, that is the area of square BCDE is 70 square centimeters. So let's put 70 here. Right. How do we find the area of square AGFE? Any guesses? So what we got to apply here, what we got to use is Pythagoras theorem. You got to use Pythagoras. Right. So let's apply Pythagoras to this triangle, this right triangle ABE. So let me take AB, let me put a letter there. Let's take that as D centimeters, D, and let me take AE as Y. So if A is Y, AG also should be Y because it's a square. In a square, all the sides are equal. And let me take EB or BE as N. If BE is N, ED should be N. Y is a square. When it comes to a square, all the sides are equal. Right. So let's apply Pythagoras now to the triangle. So what is that? Is y squared plus n squared is equal to, what's the hypotenuse? That's D squared. Alright, so we have been asked to find area of the square that has been marked with a tick, or in other words, y times y. What's the area of this square that has been marked with a tick, that is length into breadth? That's y into y, or y squared. So we got to find out the value of y squared. Alright, let's try to do that. So y squared is not known to us. Y squared plus, do you know what n squared is? What is n squared? That is n times n, or in other words, the area of the square that's at the bottom here. So that has been given to us as 70. So we can replace, or in the place of n squared, we can write 70 equals, what's d squared? Do we know what's d squared? Do we know what's d is? No. Do we know what d squared is? No, not yet. So let's try the d squared as it is. So what is stopping us from finding out what is y squared is d squared. Since we don't know what is d squared is, we cannot go further, or we cannot find out y squared. So let's focus on finding out what's the value of d squared is. How do we find that? For that, we can use this fact. We have been told area of the circle is 150 square centimeters. So let's write that. So area of the circle is 150 square centimeters. So how do you find, what's the formula to find the area of the circle? That's pi r squared. So pi r squared is 150. How do we find out what r squared is now? R squared is 150 divided by pi. So let's use the calculator. So r squared is equal to 150 divided by pi. So let's divide 150 by pi. So we put 150 divided by, in most of your calculators, you will see a pi key. Press the pi key. 150 divided by pi is, we get 47.746. Let me write that for 4 significant figures. So it's 47.75. All right, that's r squared. But what do I need? What I need is d squared. So we know what is r? That's the radius. So d is consisting of how many r's? So that's a r here from A to the center, and then from the center to B, that's another r. So what is d? So that is d is 2r. What does d mean? D is equal to 2 r's, 2 times of radius. Or in other words, it's 2r. So then what is d squared? D squared is d times d, right? Obvious. D squared means d times d. D times d. What is d? Just a while ago we said d is 2r, 2 times of radius. So 2r multiplied by 2r. That is 2 times 2 is 2 times 2 is 4. R times r is r squared. So what is d squared? D squared is equal to 4r squared. So that's 4 times, what is r squared? That is known to us. We found out a while ago. What is r squared? That is 47.75. So d squared times 47.75 is, we get 191. So y squared plus 70 equals, all this time we didn't know what d squared is, but now we don't have to write d squared anymore. Just a while ago we found out the d square's value, not the exact value but a rounded value, that's 191. Now how do we find what y squared is? So y squared is equal to 191. We ask the plus 70 to go to the other side, so it becomes subtraction 70. So what do we get? We get y squared is equal to 121. So what is the area of the square? Area of the square that I'm coloring now, that is equal to y squared, which is 121. So now we can say area of the square that I colored in pink. So area of AGFE is equal to y squared, y times y, that is 121 square centimeters. All right, students, that's it. This is not the only way. There are other ways too. The structure of all of your answers would be this, but some of you would have gone on to calculate the R. You would have found R square, and your next step would have been finding R. Yeah, that's fine. Then you would have found R. Then you would have found D, but that's not required because what we simply need is D squared. But even if you have found out R and then go on to find D, that's fine. But this method is slightly quicker than those methods.